Hmm.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you, Sam?
I'm doing well. What's going on? Trevion?
That's correct. Sam, is it raining?
Yeah, is it too loud, the rain?
Oh no, oh no. I see the window, so I was trying to make sure there was
Yeah.
rain. Okay.
Yeah, it's just rain.
Okay,
I
Sam,
like
what are you a woman with money? Get a guy a husband.
the flowers are,
Huh?
right? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about, is it harder to date as a woman who's successful?
Mm, well, considering that the fact that I'm not a woman, I guess my perspective of it wouldn't really matter.
Maybe my perspective doesn't matter at all either.
Why are you invested?
I'm invested because I'm a man, and to be in harmony with a woman, I got to understand where she's at and where there could be some friction from my side of things, from the man's side.
Okay. Now, are you actively trying to date or
I'd like to have a partner some time, but I also know that I'm just one person and there's a lot of people like me.
yeah,
There's a lot of women out there who our understanding of each other is at an all-time low, it feels like sometimes.
okay. And you're a husband accelerator confidential consult.
So if everything comes down to money, I don't think it does. But it used to feel like the man would make more money and the woman would do everything else. Obviously, that's not reasonable because there's so much more to do than just the money.
hmm
But now that women have more money, what do they need, right?
Um, I would say this. I would think that just because of what, like you answered it earlier, you said it's not all about money. So because it's not all about money, if you really love a person, whether you're a man or a woman, you're going to always have things about the other partner that you're going to take value, you're going to value. So just because it, like say I'm with a woman and she has more money than me or she's more successful than I am, she's not, if she loves me, she's not with me because she's making more money than me, or I'm not with her because she's making more money than me, or I'm not angry with her because she's making more money than I am. She's not angry with me because she's making more money than I am. We love each other and we find ways to make it work. You get what I'm saying? We find ways to love each other beyond finances and different things like that. So I guess it boils down to if you really love a person, you're going to always look beyond money and material things because at the end of the day, love is not just um, tethered to finances. Love is actually not tethered to finances at all. Finances, that's its own thing. Because you love each other, you can work something out financially, but it's not tethered to it. It's not like a make or break for a relationship. If it is, then you're not truly in love with each other. You're in love with maybe what you can do with each other or for each other, which is basically a business, which is a partner business wise or something like that. But if you're my partner and you love me for just me financially, that's none of your damn business until we're married.
That is a hot take, in my opinion. That to not know someone's finances until you're married.
Until you're married. Because why am I disclosing that information with you and you're just basically a friend?
Yeah.
You're
You
single
said
until
something I also was interested in. You're saying, why should I get mad at you or you get mad at me based on money?
based on
If we
money.
were in,
Right.
do you do you think that there is some times where men get mad at women who maybe have a little more money,
Well, of course, yeah. Yeah,
like
of
an ego
course.
thing?
Yeah, there are some men out in the world that get upset with women, and maybe that's like an insecurity of theirs or something like that, or they feel what's the word, emasculated because of it. Like, oh no, I have to make this much. I got to be the breadwinner. I got to be the man of the house. But her having more money than you should not take away the fact that you're still a man of the home. It should literally empower you to get your shit together. If anything, if at the very least, you should want to up your game because, hey, my girl is doing something powerful here. Let me tap into what I can put out and make back better than what I'm doing.
So do you think there's space for a man to up his game if a woman's high powered, if she's making whatever we say that making good money is, depends on where you are in the country or the world?
That's subject is subjective to what the relationship looks like for each relationship is going to be completely different. There are homes where men are more submissive than the woman. There are homes where the woman is more submissive and different things like that. It's just according to the home or the household or the relationship because everybody is different.
Submissive is a really good word here. I wonder if we could come up with some examples. I'll try to come up with one. For example, let's say there's a woman who is a doctor.
Okay.
So she's set in the finances department,
Okay.
assuming she is paying off her loans and she's getting on her way, if she has loans at all. Is she
Right.
more likely to connect to partner up with someone who's more submissive?
Maybe not. That's still subjective. It's like we're all completely different, remember? So maybe some people do walk the line that other people walk, but more times people are just going to do what they want to do. It's not, oh, because they're doing it or this line of doctors are doing it as female doctors, they're doing it, so let me do it. You know, some people may do it inadvertently or unintentionally, but then more time, most times people are just doing their own thing, Sam. It's hard to explain
Yeah,
because it's subjective to different how people, that's crazy.
it is crazy to classify every woman who's a doctor as all looking for submissive partners. Because some
Correct.
women who are doctors, they might be very traditionally feminine,
Okay.
conventionally feminine, which might make it very unlikely for them to partner up with someone who's submissive.
One of my babies said, "Hey, it's good to see you, baby." I think society wants to bring everything down to a science. It's ridiculous, and I think that's true. We want to get everything. We want to be so meticulous about everything until we just dissect it to the point where there's nothing else to see. And then where do we go with it next? I mean, things are constantly evolving, constantly changing for the worse or for the better, or just to be the same. So it's like you really couldn't, you really couldn't dissect that.
And here I am talking about a doctor, which is a scientific field as well. But let's
Yeah.
try a different example. But do you have an example of a occupation maybe?
Hmm. Maybe a truck driver, like a woman being a truck driver. And
Okay.
then let's just take it. Let's just go very extreme. A woman being a truck driver and her husband doesn't work at all, but he takes care of the two children that they have. Okay, that right there is it's an example of. But the thing is, that works so well with for their relationship. Let's even go
Yeah.
far as to go. You remember Rugrats?
Yeah.
You remember Phil and Lil, their mom and dad. Remember Phil and Lil's mom was more, you thought she was a lesbian, right? But she wasn't. She was in love with her husband, who was a soft and more feminine, kind of guy. And that relationship worked so well for them and for their kids because they loved each other beyond the fact that the woman was more, more masculine and the husband was more feminine. that I just talked about this earlier with my people, how you can be as masculine as you feel and be a woman and still present the woman that you are to the world. And if you find a man that is more feminine and is not working in a hard job like what you're doing, that doesn't mean that, oh, well, I'm not a woman anymore. That just means you are a woman that found a man that is understanding of who you are, and they love you beyond that. To me, I don't know. When I get to explaining stuff, I kind of go all over the place. So,
I I like where you're going all over the place because a woman who has a softer man, she's a strong woman. And
yeah.
that is an adjective that I think has a huge positive connotation, especially in this day and age. Who wouldn't want to
Mm,
be a strong woman?
right. Exactly.
And
She
so
doesn't
I
have to be
guess the question, so what should a man strive to be?
a man. Whatever that looks like for the man. I'm serious. He should just be a man. Oh. It doesn't strive to be quiet. Cat meat, no. A man should never be quiet. A woman should never be silenced. We we should all be able to freely speak, freely do what we please. One of my babies said, "I'm a very strong woman, and whomever I am partnered with has to match that energy." So we're hearing from the people. Strong women want a strong man, but just makes sense. Does that strong man have to financially be above you along the lines, like matching you, like, or like, can he be under you and still be that strong energy that you're seeking? She said, nope. She just wants him to be employed, which is fair
Okay.
game. That's fair. I hear
Yeah,
it.
like for the
Oh,
I am thinking about a truck driver who's a woman.
okay.
Her man is probably not going to be employed in an occupation where he travels,
Probably
but
not.
if he could have a job where like he's a teacher or some job where he can be home when the kids get back from school, I could see that.
Yeah. Which will match who he is. The thing is, we have to do things not to appease other people. We have to do things that will appease who we are and that will cater to what we're trying to present to the world. And so if you find a partner that wants to diminish that or like throw that out or cast it away, then that's probably not the person for you because they don't want to love you for just who you are or what you're bringing to the table. If I want listen, if I'm with someone and they are an astronaut and all I want to do is work at a gas station, you get what I'm saying? I'm not. I don't. I need you to love me for me, not because you're an astronaut and because I'm working at a gas station. I need you to love me for me. If you can't try to understand where I am right now and why I'm even trying to work at this gas station, it's because you don't love me enough to care. Because there is a reasoning behind why I want to choose this gas station job for the moment. Okay, but if you love me enough, you're going to ask the questions why. What's going on? And so I'm going to tell you, and you're going to love me enough to receive that and understand that because hey, we're together, we are married, we're doing this. But if you're like, oh hell no, I don't want somebody working at a gas station. Get up out my house, boy. That's because you don't love me. You only love what I can do. And if I can't do it right or well, then I gotta go. And I'm not matching you. And because I'm not matching you with trying to be an astronaut like you, Mae Jemison, then hey, we're not compatible because a lot of times I'm not even married. I've never been married. But this is the thing. A lot of people are getting together and they're unequally yoked. Okay, when you're unequally yoked, nothing will work. But when you're equally yoked, no matter what the situation is, things will always pan out for the better or for the good, or for the better of that relationship because you're equally yoked. Things are meshing. Not,
So I love this example. So the woman is an astronaut, let's say.
Yeah.
The man works at a gas station, let's say. Do you think the woman, let's say she hasn't found the man who is the gas station attendant yet. Where should she be looking if she's looking just in her field of NASA colleagues and she
No,
can't
that's
find someone
different. Now,
who's
Sam, that's
free?
different. Now, if you're single and you're an astronaut, of course you can start looking in places where, hmm, that's still subjective because what if she's just at a bookstore if the astronaut has some days off, right? And she's at the bookstore and she finds a man and she just
Mhm.
falls madly in love with him over time. But she realizes he tells her, hey, I work at a gas station. But at that point, she's so in love with him that she doesn't give a damn that he's working at a gas station because she has fallen in love with who this person is. That right there, her being an astronaut, it may show the guy like, you know what? I'm so in love with you. I feel empowered to do more than just this gas station job. He may go out
Yeah.
and become some scientist. You just you just never know. Love is so powerful and it will literally bring you both up. But it has to be love though. So it doesn't matter about where she should start looking because she could be at the gas. Oh Jesus, she could be at the gas station and see the clerk and fall in love with the clerk. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't matter where. It only matters about if you love a person or not. If you get to know a person and you fall in love with them, it doesn't matter about where you find them. I go to the bars and stuff like that sometimes. I'm not looking for love there, but I've had people tell me you need to go to museums and or go to the park or something. I've been there too, but that doesn't mean I'm going to find somebody at the park or at the museum just because that's aesthetically pleasing to me.
Mhm.
I could be
Let's bring this.
on top of a roof somewhere. Okay, no, go.
You could find a roofer. Let's bring this down to earth, though. So let's say she really is a scientist. She really is an astronaut, or
A
she has an
roofer.
office job. So she has, hey, these guys in trades, let's say he manages the team, he owns part of the company, he could be making six figures. We don't know.
Yeah, you
But
never know.
she's a scientist. She has an office job. She
Okay.
can go to the bookstore on Saturday and Sunday. Is that really her best move to go to the bookstore and look for performative guys who are actually gas station guys who are reading books there?
Are you trying to say gas station guys don't read books, Sam?
I think they read books. I don't know if they think on Saturday or Sunday, I'm gonna go to the bookstore,
They may,
but they
sometimes
may.
they have days off too, and they may want to
Yeah.
read a book. And so it may be on the day that that gas station clerk goes to that local, library, and they see a woman or a man, whoever, and they don't know that that's a scientist. They just see someone that they want to speak, and they speak, and then, you know, energies just have to kind of, and you're good to go. Now, she may give you her preference, and you say, "Well, hey, I'm just working at a gas station," and she may simply say, "Oh, that's not going to work for me." That's because she's, that's because she's not. You're not. Y'all are not equally yoked, and it's never going to happen.
So equally yoked. That's like equal in career achievement, right?
Equally yoked mean energies, different things like that.
Okay.
Energy, take away material things. Equally yoked is
Okay.
energies. Like when you see a person and everything is just meshing.
Okay.
Everything is just going together like glue. No matter if you have ups and downs or ups or downs, everything still goes back to I love you no matter what. Everything goes back to hey, I'm gonna love you in spite of. It's just what goes on with you, I'm gonna feel it. That's being equally yoked. When you're happy, I'm happy. When you're sad, I'm sad. When you first meet a person, if not saying you're gonna be equally yoked in the beginning, but over time, once you start bringing to the table who you are, you'll know if that person is for you or not. You'll know that that's an equally yoked situation because they're never going
So
to leave
let's
you. They're not going to leave you for any of your shortcomings. They're literally going to be empowered by it and want to grow with you and help you grow. vice versa.
Yeah, I like the idea of the gas station attendant being sort of built up and
Yeah,
his
I see
potential
what
sort
you're
of
doing here.
unleashed.
I see what you're doing. You're coming from a place of trying to bring scenarios to the table. I see what you're
Yeah,
doing. I see what you're doing. And see, I'm so different because I'm coming from a place of just we're coming from two different
I
places with
know.
it. But I see what you're doing, and I'm like, okay. I almost feel like I'm in school.
I will take that in the best way possible because I feel like I'm, in a yoga class or something. So,
Wow.
but you need both energies. You need both the tactics and the vibes.
Correct, correct. The vibe of it all.
And when I think about like examples, I'm going to bring you back to school again, but I'm thinking about what are some examples you have of friends, family, acquaintances. When I think of examples, I think about the friend who met the other resident in medical school and now they're together. That happens a
Mm,
lot in the medical field. You meet someone who you work with.
yeah.
I think about the friend who met someone reconnected, about the friend who met someone reconnected. And
Okay.
then I think about the friend who met someone on an app. And what I don't
Mm,
think about is the friend who went to the bookstore. I haven't heard that story, even though we read stories like that or we see movies. But
yeah.
so what do you think? What do you got for examples for us?
Well, maybe this is my own delusion. This is me being delusional, but I like Hallmark movies, and so um, when I think of Hallmark movies, that's kind of I think of stuff like that. Maybe in real life it doesn't always happen like that, but th- I don't know. I don't know.
Your friends, think about some friends or acquaintances. How did they meet?
Well,
Did they already know each other from
I,
college, from high
I
school?
just went to a wedding yesterday. I mean, Thursday for a friend. They are partner. Well, they were partners for 6 years, and then they got married on Thursday. But I don't remember how they met. I just know that they're equally yoked because everything that they've been through, they have loved each other in spite of, till the day that they said "I do," and going forward. So it's almost like not. It's almost like, but I don't know the origin of some stories or most stories dealing with my friends and their partners or whatever because I wasn't there, but I do know that when I came into the picture, oh, I'm sorry, you were saying? It looked like you were about to say
What
something.
about a wedding itself? Is a wedding itself is a wedding a place to meet someone in this day and age, or is that a story that 20 years ago would have been?
Well, I think that would be okay now. Meeting some, I don't think it's ever been an issue if you meet someone at a wedding. Um, I think that would be okay. Like I said earlier, it's all about. It doesn't matter where you're meeting a person. It matters about the energy, the vibes, like you stated, over time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a good relationship. It's going to take time. And even when you build that relationship up, you're going to screw up. That partner of yours is going to screw up. But are you going to love me no matter what? Are you going to love me in spite of my shortcomings? Are you going to love me in spite of what like if I change, or if you change, do I love you no matter what? So if you put on, like, if you were maybe 150 pounds when I met you and now you're 250, do I still love you? Because if I do, that means I loved you no matter what. No matter if you were gaining weight, losing weight, maybe you were 150 and you went down to maybe 80 pounds. Do I love you enough to give you something to eat? You know what I'm saying? Just so that if you're unhealthy, I want you to be back healthy. Or if you went to 250, do I say, hey, so you're unhealthy right now or something like that? You want to, let's do this. You love people to help them make them better. If they don't see it, then as a partner, maybe you can see it. That was not
The
shade.
fitness is a great example. I'm not trying to go down the fitness route.
I
I've heard a
know, I know,
ridiculous.
but I know,
I
I
have
know.
heard the most ridiculous prenup condition ever was we're going to divide it. You're going to get something like 10% less for every 10 pounds you gain.
Oh, what?
So most people do not do prenups. I'm just saying that loving someone for who they are, loving someone for how they change,
Yeah,
it's not always, it could be financial. It could be, hey, or if you change careers, there's no guarantee that we still are on the same path. Maybe one,
mm,
because we met in that career, or two, because when I started to love you, I loved you partially for who you were in that career.
right. Okay,
So
okay, hmm, okay.
but
Now I see
that's
that.
once,
So okay,
once,
adding in what they do to kind of that was like the attention grabber for them.
yes.
Okay, and so to keep my attention, everything else needs to be in alignment.
Yeah, and it might not be a superficial attention grabber like someone's how they look in a bathing suit or
Yeah.
someone's private equity position, but
Okay.
it might be how confident they were when they were in that frame, so
Okay.
or title. Now,
When people are going into different body
we're way
shapes.
talking not about gas station.
Wait, one of my babies said, but what does all this have to do with being a rich woman who can't find a man?
I love it. Bringing us back to the thesis here. It seems like it's hard for a woman who's successful to find a man. Can I say
Uh-huh.
that as a man? Can that come out of my mouth? I don't know yet. I did. I'm saying it.
Hmm. I don't think that this is the thing because you'll never. I don't think that this is the thing because you'll never. Or but for now, you being the man that you are, I don't. It's not going to matter to you. I don't think because are you looking for a woman that is more successful than you?
That is the $1 million question.
Okay,
Because
because that's what I
I
think this is all boiling
personally,
down to. We're trying to figure out for you what it looks like if you were to be with a woman that was more successful than you. So you asked the question to kind of like a survey to see what this would all mean for Sam. Since
for
you are on the
Sam,
road to maybe dating or trying to,
does Sam,
ooh,
do I feel stronger with the woman who has more money than me or who may be more successful than me?
Sam, you're lagging now, Sam.
Not necessarily. So if I
Oh,
don't feel stronger with a woman who has more money than me or who is more successful than me,
mhm.
I need to adjust how I think about this
Uh,
in order to fit into that narrative.
mm. So you need to do a little more
I
research.
think she can find someone. I think she can.
AT Howard. Wait,
That's why I'm on here.
but Sam, this is
Here,
the thing. You're lagging. I can't really like you're going in and out.
here's an example.
Okay.
Let's say a tenure track professor who's a woman.
Okay. AT Howard.
She's
Oh, wait, hold on,
35,
Sam.
may,
Sam.
maybe 30.